was just not appropriate.
Deep-seated, that old sort of racist belief that Jews are just about money. I mean, you hear people talking at times about Jews and money, and whether it's in politics or whether it's in business, people say, Jews are just, they're great negotiators. I mean, obviously, Mika, that's something that, from what the president just said there, it's something that Donald Trump would never fall victim to himself,
never,
right?
Never. I mean, I just want to point out that the tweet was horrible, and you want to look at sort of her history of comments if there are others that are similar, and you want to try and understand where this came from. It wasn't good. But the hypocrisy is extremely easy to point out. You may remember the president was also criticized during the 2016 campaign for playing into Jewish stereotypes about money. Here he is speaking to the Republican Jewish coalition in 2015.
I'm in a different position than the other candidates because I'm the one candidate. I don't want any of your money. I want your support, but I don't want your money. Again, I don't want your money. Therefore, you're probably not going to support me because stupidly, you want to give money. Trump doesn't want money. I really believe the Iran deal. Look, I'm a negotiator like you folks. We're negotiators. We don't build gas stations in the middle of, as you know, Afghanistan for $43 million. How many think they could have done it for less? Would you raise your hands, please? You want to renegotiate deals? Some of us renegotiate deals. I would say about 99.9. Is there anybody that doesn't renegotiate deals in this room? This room negotiates. I want to renegotiate this room. Perhaps more than any room I've ever spoken to. Maybe more.
And we
one Jewish money joke after another Jewish money joke after another Jewish money joke. I mean, he actually lapped the Congresswoman about 5 times there.
Yeah, he definitely
So
did.
I'm just wondering, is Kevin McCarthy going to call for his resignation? Because I haven't heard Kevin McCarthy criticize that.
Yeah.
Again, remember the Star of David picture? Do we have the Star of David picture? Because when that went up, and they were peddling in just clear anti-Semitism, ugly anti-Semitism, I didn't hear Kevin McCarthy or any Republicans. I didn't hear Mitch McConnell call for Donald Trump to step down. I mean, Mika, the hypocrisy is so extraordinarily thick here.
Well, and again, that doesn't deny what happened, and I think Democrats should talk about it and deal with it. Of course, Trump's infamous remarks about good people being among the white supremacists at that deadly rally in Charlottesville in 2017. Remember that? Not to mention his ban on Muslims, his comments about S-hole countries, which was just incredible, and his suggestion that California's immigration policies allow for breeding and the infestation of crime. Eugene Scott, you have a new piece out in the Washington Post entitled Ilhan Omar and Steve King reacted to criticism very differently. Why that matters. How did they react differently? What are you finding?
Well, we know that when Democratic leadership, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, called on Representative Omar to apologize, that the representative did so relatively immediately. When Minority Leader McCarthy called on Steve King, who has a history of making comments that are sympathetic to those who are white supremacists or white nationalists, to apologize, not only did he not apologize, he doubled down. And very recently, we know he's led a fight to get back on his committees. And he's taken that cue, one could argue, from the president himself, who has no history of apologizing, despite critiquing how other people apologize, in part because what he is aware of most is what his political opponents say that are problematic, and not he and his own tribe. And he does that because his party members, the base, will not hold him accountable in ways that the Democratic Party will hold people like Representative Omar and even Nancy Pelosi accountable.
Well, and they did, Willie. Of course, the Democrats did hold the Congresswoman accountable. And obviously, if she makes another anti-Semitic statement, then I would be shocked if she weren't kicked off the Foreign Affairs Committee. I do have to say, though, you listen to all the things that Donald Trump has said, all the racist things that Donald Trump has said. You look at all the stereotypes Donald Trump was peddling, the Jewish stereotypes here. And then Mika talked about Donald Trump saying that our immigration policies lead to breeding and infestation. there's so many times where people say, you should never compare anything that any American politician does to what fascists would do or what Nazis did. The propaganda, when you start talking about breeding, racist breeding, and you start talking about the infestation of people, of non-white people, if you don't want me to say that that's something that the Third Reich peddled in, okay, I won't say it. Just go read a book, because that's exactly what they said about Jews.
Well, the president was talking in last April, about the sanctuary laws in California. And Eddie, obviously, President Trump is not the right vessel to come down against religious discrimination. Let's just go back to the Muslim ban. He wanted an entire religion banned from this country based on the God they worship. But did Nancy Pelosi not have to reckon with the anti-Semitism that was implicit in Congresswoman Omar's tweet?
Oh, absolutely. So, look, I think it's